Hey, Ed here from 10,000 Foot View, and I've got another Google Ads quick tip for you today. Just before I jump in, a reminder to please subscribe to the channel and like our content. We post about Google Ads at least once every week. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about Google Ads Editor and three specific use cases where it's a better solution than using the Google Ads web interface. So the first one, and probably the most common, is when you need to replicate campaigns, or if you need to copy over a large number of variables. So for example, to copy a campaign is really easy. You just select the campaign here, copy, oops, Control C and Control V, and with any luck, I have to actually select campaigns first. And it's easier than I made it look, but basically there you go. And then you can just go ahead and edit the name and make the various changes to this campaign. So campaigns are one thing, but the other thing that's really useful is, like, say you have 100 locations that you're targeting. Maybe there's 100 specific cities that you're targeting in the US. If you create a new campaign in the web interface, there's no way to easily copy over those locations. You're basically gonna have to bang them all in by hand unless you make a dupe of the campaign, and then the locations will be carried over. But the problem with that is so will your keywords and your ads and everything else, and then you've got to go delete those items, and it just kind of makes a mess of things. So locations in particular are really big one, where if you have a lot of individual locations, being able to copy those from one campaign to another within Google Ads Editor really saves a lot of time. But the same is true for other things too, like blocking app placements. Again, you can really quickly do that in here, whereas in the interface you have to select each one at a time. So that's one use case. The second use case is if you have bugs or issues getting online with Google Ads. So, we've all experienced you log in and it just doesn't load, or you're trying to create a campaign and you go to save it and it just gets stuck. Or you have an error message. So a workaround to that is using the editor, because it doesn't rely on the user-facing online interface. So you can go ahead and make your changes to your campaigns and then just post those. And also it's typically going to resolve those bugs because, again, it's using the API. So it's not using the same interface. So that's a good solution if you do run into those difficulties. The third one is if you are actually working offline, right? So maybe you're in a flight and you don't have internet access. You can go ahead and make all your changes in here and then either schedule it to upload later or manually upload it later on. And that's actually, I was going to do three, but now I actually have four, right? So the fourth one is account migration. And so if you have a client or you yourself are creating a new Google Ads account and maybe need to move some of the old campaigns into that, perhaps you've decided that you're going to split up your account into like Canada, the US, UK, Australia, and currently everything's in one account. But you do have some active, maybe you have US and Canada campaigns already, so you need to move the Canadian one. So Editor makes it really easy. You can actually move things between different accounts. You can also do it in the online interface, but it's a little bit, I'm going to say, confusing or awkward to use that. You can definitely do it, but it's much more streamlined and faster to do it, particularly if you got to move a bunch in Google Ads Editor. So that's four. I promised you three. I gave you four kind of major use cases for where you want to use Google Ads Editor. Hopefully, if you haven't been using it until now, that will give you motivation to actually start using the tool. It is a very good tool. It does have a learning curve, so you will need to spend some time kind of figuring it out. Once you do, you will find it really streamlines your work. So that's it for today. It's a short one, and I will see you next time.